happy to be back. Today I'm going to be hosting my first question and answer session on my partial dreadlocks, and I'm glad you stopped by, tuned in, and are listening in with me. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, question number 1. How long was your hair when you got started with dreadlocks? So this one's pretty easy. So as you can tell, I've got pretty long hair. My hair is pretty fine. It doesn't have a lot of texture to it naturally. It's naturally straight and fine. It's not overly thin, but it's not super thick either. But the length is pretty close to where it is now. So I'll try to back up a little bit here, let you see. This is my loose hair that I have left, and it may have grown a little bit since I started the process 9 months ago, but at this length my hair is really not growing super fast. So I have to say the length was probably pretty similar to what you're seeing here. Question number 2. How much shrinkage have you seen in your dreadlocks? So this question is actually exactly why I have worn my hair like this today. So I'm trying to give you a representation of how long my partial dreadlocks are, and then how long my loose natural hair is. Now my loose natural hair comes down to almost my hips down here, and you can see that my dreadlocks here are not nearly as long. So I've seen quite a bit of shrinkage. My dreadlocks are 9 months old, and in those 9 months they have slowly drawn up. Now when I installed my dreadlocks, I used the twist and rip method, which for me kept a little more length on my hair in the beginning. I didn't see as much shrinkage right in the first couple of months after I did the dreadlocks. The shrinkage has been much more slow and gradual over the dreadlock process so far. Question number 3. Are you happy with the thickness of your dreads? My answer here is absolutely. I love my dreadlocks so far. It's been such a fun journey, and it's been so unique and uniquely mine that I cannot imagine my dreadlocks absolutely any other way. So if you're asking if I'm currently happy with their thickness, absolutely. Now, was I happy with their thickness when they first started out? As I mentioned with the last question, I did the twist and rip method with my dreadlocks, which means they really were pretty thin and straggly when we got started, and they have slowly thickened over time. But at this point, I'm really happy with where they are. Moving in a little deeper on this point, there are a few things that will influence your dreadlock thickness that you can control from the get-go. So the number one way to control your dreadlock thickness, whether you want really thin dreadlocks or whether you want really thick and chunky dreadlocks, is your dreadlock section size. Now, if you're going the neglect method, the freeform method, then this will take care of itself and they will just form the way they form. But if you are sectioning your hair before you install dreadlocks, then you have all of the control over what size those sections are. For me, on the bottom 2 rows down here, which is all I have done with my dreadlocks, I went with the brick style pattern. So my dreadlocks are slightly wider than they are tall. However you decide to part your hair is completely up to you, but the thickness of those parts will definitely determine the thickness of the overall dread. Second thing that's going to influence your dreadlock thickness is your hair thickness. If you have really thick hair, then you're going to have more hair per square inch on your head, if that makes sense. So your hair will naturally, your dreadlocks will naturally form thicker than somebody that has less hair in the same amount of space. So just keep in mind your dreadlock sections have a lot to do with the overall size that your dreadlocks will end up, as well as your natural hair type. So use the two to work together to get the size dreadlock that you want. Last thing here, I want to give a big thank you to Jessica. She's the one who reached out and submitted these questions. They were awesome questions, which is why I decided to make this video and share them with the rest of YouTube, is because if you were wondering, then I'm sure somebody else was. So with that being said, if you have questions on dreadlocks, whether it's a full set or a partial set, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to help. You can drop them down into the comment section below, or you can send me a message. Either way, I'll get your questions, I'll do my best to answer, and who knows, you may end up on my next question and answer video. Alrighty guys, that wraps this session up. I appreciate you stopping by and tuning in and hanging out all the way until the end. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up down below, and if you want to stay in tune with more Dreadlock updates, then hit subscribe. It's Sierra signing off. Take care and be well.